Hi, my name's Nigel Price and I'm here to help you learn how to play jazz guitar, something that many people will tell you these days is very easy, but sadly they're wrong, and it's actually really hard, and you have to be prepared to put in a lot of time. So it would be good to be able to maximise that time to make it as efficient as possible. And I've got a system that I employed for years that I felt really accelerated things for me. I think it did, I mean, who knows, but it felt like I was doing the right thing. And it's all to do with building a stronger relationship with the important notes from each chord, chord tones, and using arpeggios, the 1, 3, 5, 7 of each chord. So perhaps I'll kick off by talking as little as possible and actually doing some playing. So what I'm going to do is play between a couple of chords, A major 7 for a couple of bars and D minor 7 for 2 bars. And what I'll do is call out the first interval of each idea, just to show you what I might be thinking about. And I'll start with the third. 5, 3, 5, 7, 7, 3, 3, 3, 1, 5, 3. Okay, well, maybe it wasn't the greatest thing in the world, but you can see what I'm thinking about. It's clearly impossible to think about every single interval of every note that you're playing, but I think it's a really healthy thing to know precisely which interval you're playing at the start of each phrase. Now, there's an exercise for this, which a lot of my system is based on, and it relies on breaking the guitar into 5-fret blocks. The reason being is that the guitar is tuned pretty much in fourths, pretty much, and you can actually play anything in any key within any group of 5 frets on the guitar. So just for now, just to sort of give you the concept, I'm gonna stay within 5 to 9, fret 5 to fret 9, and what we're going to do is use the same chords that I've just been playing, and we're going to play 1, 3, 5, 7 from each chord, but change to the next available note of the next chord. So here we go. So we'll start with 1. 5 of D, 7 of A, 3 of D, 7, flat 7, 7, 3, 7, 3, 3, flat 7. That's not easy, is it? It's not easy. Well, I mean, for some of you it's probably easy, but I don't find that very easy. So, I mean, you can pick as many or as few notes as you like there. Perhaps a good starting point for this is to play one note from each chord, because the most important thing is the voice leading, is being able to move from one chord to the next and know exactly where you are interval wise. So here we go. Let's start on 3 just to be difficult. So perhaps we do it with no time to start with. So here we are in A. So C sharp is 3. Okay, now we're moving to D minor. So the next note's going to be 1. And then we're moving to A, back to A. You can see the next available note is going to be E, which is going to be the 5. Okay. Next note, D minor. Next available note, D minor 7, is minor 3rd, which is F. Moving back to A, we've got major 7, D minor 5, A major 7 3, D minor 7 1, 5, minor 3rd, major 7 and 5. Okay, so I'm going to play exactly the same thing but with the chords behind it so you can hear what's going on. So 3, 1, 5, 3, minor 3rd, major 7, 5, 3, 1, 5, minor 3rd, major 7, 5, 3, half step down for 7, 1, minor 3rd, about 2 for each chord, 5, 3, 7, 5, 7, 5, 1, 7, 1, 3, 1, minor 3rd, 7, 1, flat 7, 1, 5, major 7, 5, flat 7, 3, 1, minor 3rd, 1. Makes sense? Marvellous. Okay, so you can see it's really important to know your arpeggios really well, because without that you're kind of lost when it comes to that situation. So a lot of what I'm going to be showing you is based around that concept about moving from one chord to another, moving to the next available note in each one. I can't emphasize enough how important this is when it actually comes to the real world of playing over changes. There's a kind of analogy that I've been caught using in the past. If say if you were a painter and you came to paint a house, you could just turn up with like a pot of paint, no brushes, no ladders, no nothing, and you could do it. You could probably do it. You just get it all over your hands, slop it all over the house or whatever. But really, you really need the right brushes, the rollers, all that sort of thing. You need the right tools. So I think, to my mind, you've got to have all these tools at your disposal, and until you've got those tools, I don't even know what you can be thinking about really, when you're trying to blow over standards and things like that. So this is incredibly important. All right, well let's get cracking then. Now, one of the things that used to really bug me, this is all just evolution really, is was playing a natural 4 over a major 7. It used to really bug me though. I used to keep doing it. It's just this horrible sort of sound. And I thought, oh God, I've done it again. I've done it again. So I figured that maybe what the first thing I would do was play major scales and just leave out the 4th, because I never wanted to make that mistake again. I never wanted to hear that sound again. Unless it was, you know, like a very quick sort of passing note. So let's start at the beginning with this whole kind of splitting the guitar into 5 frets thing, and let's go from 1 to 5. That would ultimately be the beginning. So you're not allowed to use open strings except for the E, because there's no other way of playing that open E. Now let's just start by hearing the sound of it. So let's start from C. Let's start from C major 7. Good enough place to start. So we're going 1, 2, 3, miss out 4, 5, 6, 7, 1, 2, 3, 5, 6. Okay, happy? Let's go back down again, just to get it under the fingers. 5, 3, 2, 1, 7, 6, 5, 3, 2, 1, 7, 6, 5, 3. I'm allowed to use the 3 because it's an E. Okay, now let's move to another chord. Just for now, let's move in fourths. I'll explain why that's potentially a good thing to do later. So our next available note is 1. So we got F. 1, 2, 3, 5, 6, 7. 1, 2, 3, 5, 6, 7. 1, 2, 3. Okay, and now we're going to change to the next available note in B flat. Here we go. So we're heading down now. B flat's the next 4th along. So here we are. 6, 5, 3, 2, 1, 7, 6, 5, 3, 2, 1, 7, 6, 5. Happy? Great. Okay, so moving on, we're on to the next chord in the cycle of fourths. This is E flat. The next available note is the 3rd. Let's play 8 notes out of each chord before we change to the next one. So 3, 5, 6, 7, 1, 2, 3, 5. Next is A flat. Next available note is 3, 5, 6, 7, 1, 7, 6, 5. I'm just going to call out the first interval. Next one is D flat. 1. G flat is 3. B is 3. E is 3. A5, D5, G5, and then we're back to the start. We're back to C. The next available note is actually A, which is the 6. Okay, sweet. Now I know I said that moving in fourths was a good idea, but that's only really because you know that you've covered every single key and therefore every single different position. But for the purposes of this exercise, it doesn't really help you as much as you might think, because the human brain is very clever, or at least some people's are, not so much mine. But it kind of allows you to cheat, allows you to somehow find a way of getting around things using intelligence. So it's probably better at this stage if you pick a load of random notes. Now I've got a page in front of me. In fact, I've got pages and pages of random notes in front of me. The first line goes D, B, F, G sharp. Apparently unrelated, might not be, but for the purposes of this, they're completely unrelated. So at least we know that we're not going to be cheating using some kind of system to get around it. So D, B, F and G sharp, okay? So I'll start on 1 of D. Next available note in B is F sharp. Next available note in F is G, which is the 2. Coming back up on G sharp, next available note is F sharp. What am I talking about? F sharp sharp. Jesus. It's good to throw these curveballs in because, like, sometimes you just see them on the page like G sharp, and unless you're kind of familiar with that, like B sharp and things like that, then you just have a little moment when you're like, oh god, what the hell's that? Okay, next line I've got here appears to be a load of random notes again: E, G, C sharp, and A, which maybe aren't quite as completely unrelated as you might think, but this kind of teaches you somehow to slowly build up the relationships between the notes as well. I can't remember where we finished, so we'll start on 3rd of E, which is G sharp. So 3. And then we're changing to G. The next available note in G is E, which is 6. C sharp. Next available note is C sharp, which is 1, obviously. Next available note in A is the 3rd, which is C sharp. Okay, so I won't go through all of them. I mean, I could do, but that would end up being extremely boring. But I'm expecting you to do the boring bit. So if you just write out a few pages of absolutely random notes, make sure that you cover every single key, and you just go round and round and round and round this, and eventually you find every single possible permutation for the major scale minus the 4th within the first 5 frets, which maybe you can't see it right now, but that is absolutely invaluable. Now, it would get very, very boring if we were just going to be doing this all day, and you've got to be careful. It's you have to keep love for your instrument whilst doing all these pretty dull things. So why not add some arpeggios in? Suddenly the large intervallic jumps make it seem a lot more interesting. So I'm going to move on to the next line here of random notes, which is C, E flat, G flat and B flat. I'll start from the 1, and we're just going to play major 7 arpeggios. Let's choose 8 notes, so we get a good look at the whole scale, the whole arpeggio. So 1. Next chord is E flat. Next available note is E flat. 1. Next chord I've got here is G flat, and the next available note is 1. B flat. The next available note is the 3rd, which is D. Okay, should we keep going? Why not? I'm kind of enjoying this. My next line of random chords is E, D flat, A sharp and D. Can't remember where we finished now, but let's choose the 5th. So we're playing B. So this is E major 7. changing to the next available note in D flat major 7, which is going to be F, it's the third. And then we go to A sharp. The next available note heading down still is F, which is the fifth. The final chord is D. The next available note is the third, which is F sharp. So you can see what's happening. You're actually, again, playing every permutation of the major 7 arpeggios within the space of 5 frets. Again, absolutely invaluable. And it's the sort of stuff that you don't pick up on if you're doing like the cage system, you know, when you're doing you've only got sort of 5 ways of playing each one. This shows you 11 different ways of playing each one. And it kind of means that you've always got something under your fingers, some shape that's always there, no matter where you are. Okay, so why don't we play some minor 7 arpeggios instead? They crop up as much as major ones do. So moving on, random notes here. I've got F, B, G, and E flat. Let's start on plucking an interval out of the air. Minor third of F, which is A flat. Yeah, for F. Next available note is the fifth of B, which is F sharp. We're still going up. And then we're going to G. The next available note is the minor third, which is B flat. Next chord, E flat. The next available note is B flat, which is the fifth. Let's keep going. C, minor third, E flat. Next one I've got here, F sharp, minor third, A. A. Next available is C, which is minor third. Next I've got A flat. Next available is the flat 7, which is G flat. Happy? Got the concept? Great. Okay, there are other arpeggios, obviously. I think we should keep them fairly simple for now before we do anything completely mind-blowing. And of course, one that's going to crop up is 7, which is obviously a major with a flat 7. Let's just move on to the next line of random notes here. I've got C sharp, E, B flat, and G. Okay, so let's start. Pluck another one out of the air. Flat 7. Okay, so we're on B. Okay, then we're moving to E. The next available note is E, the 1. We're moving on to B flat. The next available note is the 5th, which is F. G, next available note, 3. A, 1. E flat, 1. G flat, 1. C, 1. E, 1. F, flat 7. G, 5. B, 5. D, 3. flat 1, F sharp 3, C 3, G sharp 5, A 5, C sharp 3, E flat 1, okay. I think it would only be right and proper if we included the minor 7 flat 5, your friend and mine. So I've run out of random notes on that page, so I'm going to move to the next one, and it's A flat, F, A sharp and B. Oh, nice. Okay, so we're 1, flat 3rd, flat 5, flat 7. Okay, so let's start with 1 on A flat. F, next available note is 3, or minor 3rd. A sharp, it's the 3rd, which is C sharp. B, minor 3rd, D. Another line of these. Next one is D, so the next available interval is flat 5, which is A flat. A, flat 7. G, flat 5, D flat. D flat, which is G. One more line because it's so much fun. Flat 3rd, which is A, sorry, F sharp, flat 3rd, A. C, which is going to be B flat, flat 7. E, flat 3rd. G sharp 1. Okay, so you just got to make sure that the whole, all of the notes are included in your pages of random notes, and that way you get to cover every single position. I think that's the 3rd time I've said that. It must be important. Great. Okay, I fully appreciate how hard this is, and how it looks like I'm kind of whistling through it, and you're thinking, oh my god, you know, I'm never going to get that quick at it. Or maybe you're thinking I'm too slow at it, I don't know, whatever. But I just wanted to let you know that it took me 3 months to do the first 5 frets, to get really comfortable with what I've just shown you within the first 5 frets. And I just wanted to assure you that it does start out very slowly. By the end of it you should have the metronome on, but I know that that's impossible to start with. It's just impossible. So if we just take a couple of chords, a couple of notes, random notes, say C and E flat, this is what you can fully expect the speed to be like right at the start. Let's take major 7 arpeggios. Start on 1. So here we go. C is 1. We find C. Then we find the 3rd, which is E. The 5th, which is G. 7th, which is B. And then 1, C. 3, E. 5, G. 3, E. Okay, now the next chord is E flat. Now just, if you can't see it, just stay where you are and just have a look and just see where the hell it is. I mean, luckily it's actually very close to where we are at the moment, but it could have been a bit more difficult than that. E flat is actually one below here. E flat. Major 7. 5, which is B flat. 3, which is G. 1. 7. 5. and 3. Okay, next available note in C. Literally just don't move until you can find it. Okay, it's that open string. It's the 3rd. So 3, 3, 5, 7, 1. Okay, this is the point at which you'll falter, looking for the next note, the next available note. But just don't move until you found it. So from C, going up to E flat again. Where is it? So we've got D flat, it's not D flat, it's D. Yeah, that's the 7, great. 7. 1, 3, 1, 7, 5, 3, 1. You could literally wait for this long, just trying to find out, just trying to see where the hell this thing is. It's right here, it's C. 1. So, yeah, I know it seems a bit slow and basic, but that really is how slow you can expect it to be at first. So just don't worry about it. Just take it at that speed. Okay, so this is the level of sort of proficiency at this that I'm going to suggest that you reach before you move on to the next group of frets. I'll play the major scales without the 4th to start with. Again, random notes, and I'll call them out as we go. Metronome, this is important. This is set on 110 at the moment, on 2 and 4. Starting on C. E flat, F sharp, A, G sharp, C, A, E, B flat, C sharp, did I miss one? B, G, D flat, A sharp. That'll do. Okay, so yeah, it's basically getting your thinking time down to the same time as there is between your thinking time for the chord change, down to the same time as it takes to play within the chord. Okay, let's do a little bit more of that. Let's do the major 7 arpeggios. Let's go from E. F sharp, B flat, F, G flat, D, E, F sharp, C, B, E flat, C sharp, B flat. That'll do. Quick will on my head. So yeah, that's the sort of level of proficiency you've really got to get to before it's time to move to the next group of 5 frets, which we'll have a look at next.